And as Joe and Wayne mentioned, we're here at Munster to take a look at the matchup between the Mustangs and East Chicago Central. And speaking of the Mustangs, let's welcome their head coach, Leroy Marsh, to the program. And Coach, first off, that's an awfully tough and extremely fast East Chicago team you have to face on Friday.
They're very talented, and they're not 8-1 because they're lousy, but we look forward to have the challenge of going against them.
Okay, we know they're fast, but what is a big concern for you going into this matchup?
They're big. They're huge across the offensive and defensive lines, and their running backs are very big and fast. They're hard to bring down.
Now, your football team, unfortunately, not bringing momentum into the playoffs. What do you do as a head coach to try to turn that around before Friday?
You just keep working on the things that you haven't done well. And so blocking and tackling has been the thing. Our biggest thing has been turnovers. We seem to turn it over late in the fourth quarter and give games away. So we need to try to eliminate those.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your football team and what good they're doing so far this season. What things do you look at that make you feel that we have a chance to get some things done this playoff season?
Well, we have a little bit of everything. We have some offensive linemen. We have some defensive linemen, throwers and catchers. Our quarterback's been outstanding all season. We have pretty good receivers. Jalen Scott has got a ton of catches. So we can do some things well. The things that we don't do well are turnovers and breakdowns.
How is it that you can't have a conversation about Munster football without the name Jiminville popping in there someplace?
Well, he's a great one. He's been outstanding. I think he's thrown the ball for over 60% in games. He's a real leader. He's run the ball very effective. He's a real good football player, a real good young man also.
You have a lot of experience as a head coach, obviously, and in this whole playoff thing. What's the most important preparation thing coming into the playoffs for you?
Survival. You need to get to a mode where you're not holding anything back, surviving, and getting to the next week.
So let's say this is Friday of the game. What are you going to say to the kids before they take the field?
You start saying those things on Monday and Tuesday. So, our kids know this is it. We'll go out and play the best we can. We'll prepare them as well as we can, so for offense, defense, kicking, and go from there. A lot of things you say before the game, that lasts for maybe 10 minutes, and after that it's mostly blocking and tackling.
As always, it's a pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it.
Okay, that's the Munster side of things. Let's say we head on out to East Chicago to talk about the Cardinals. And guys, come to think of it, Munster versus East Chicago would make a great sectional basketball game, but this time we're talking football. And this guy's happy to be a part of that Munster rivalry because that's your sectional opponent coming up. Jay Novak, the coach of East Chicago, giving us the 4-1-1 and what the Cardinals have to do to win their Friday game against Munster. And Coach, first off, tough question for you. Name something Devontae Jones can't do.
Well, you got me on that one. He's a pretty special kid. He does a lot of things for us.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that Griffith game because a lot of people, and I have to admit I was one of them, felt East Chicago needed that game for a resume stuffer going into the playoffs. So how big was that Griffith win for you?
It was a very big one. I mean, first of all, Ben Geffert and his staff are unbelievable. Great coaching staff. Guys that make adjustments throughout the game and really kept us on our toes. And it was kind of a good old-fashioned chess match, back and forth. And that's just a tribute to those guys. And they play very hard. And we knew going in that some people have said our schedule is somewhat weak, and I beg to differ because there's a lot of good coaches that we play and teams that we play in that Hammond League, and really that was a game where we felt like sectional wise let's go in and see what we could do and see how we stack up because essentially that's all the NCC opponents that they've played, and they were the league champs, so it was a good measuring stick. Munster
coming up on Friday. What's your biggest concern?
We need to stay disciplined. That team, we've watched some film now. They've gone right down the field on, offensively, have gone down the field on some very good teams. And, defensively have put up some nice stops. And, their record has no indication of who they are. We've seen the tape. We have an idea that, that they're pretty darn good, and we're going to have to be on our best game to beat them.
The way you guys have played this year, and this team has gotten better every year since you've been here, are you guys trying to turn this into a football school and try to put basketball on the back burner now?
You know what, really, that was never my intention. I just, wanted to come out here and have the guys compete, teach them how to be men, and really, teach them life lessons. That's what me and the coaches do. We focus on those type of things, working hard, respect, and along the way, we were taking care of the little things, and some of the big things are starting to come our way, like this interview. I mean, a few years ago, I don't think WIN was too, interested in our program, which is fine, and that's a tribute to where we're at now and their hard work and all these coaches and the staff, and I'm proud of that. And really, basketball, football, heck, let's win them all. Let's be good in everything.
And we got to do something about that bandwagon mentality, so we'll work on that. Coach, congratulations. Knock 'em dead on Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Joe, Wayne, you know what's coming up, right? Who you got?